I'm sorry, viewers, I really am. I really wanted to get that spirit point, but the game pretty much said, screw you, you missed out on it, and now you're not getting it. So, you know what, we're just gonna turn the other cheek and move on. Even if I could go back to the Isle Sky, I wouldn't want to, because you wanna know why? I'd have to pass through Blue Cave, and God help me, I'm never going back to Blue Cave. I'm never going back. Actually, I guess that's a false statement. I'll probably play Quest 64 again sometime in my life, so I'll have to go back to Blue Cave. Oh man. Have I ever explained my reasons why I hate Blue Cave? I can't remember if I did in Quest 64 or not, but you know what? We got time to digress and ramble on. I might as well just do that because I need something to talk about. Alright, so it took place about, I don't know, I had to be about 8, 9, it could have been 10, I don't know, somewhere around that age range. I started playing this game for the first time. It was one of my first RPGs I ever played, honest to God. At that time in my life, I didn't really know too much about RPGs. I mean, I was just really new to the whole concept of what an RPG was, you know, level grinding, stats, etc, etc, and even then I hardly understood any of that. And being that it was one of my first RPGs, it wasn't a bad choice, because honestly, Quest 64 is a pretty simplistic game, and when you're just starting out, it's very good for learning the basics. So I think it was a good choice. The only problem with it is, well, okay, I gotta talk about new enemies first. Damn you, new enemies! Okay, here's the basic layout of the new enemies. These are fishmen, they're water-based, they use walking water. Use fire spells to take them out. My advice, Magma Ball or Homing Arrow level 2. At this point in the game, it's still gonna take 2 fire spells regardless of what I do. Also, later on, we'll run into Cry Shells. They're this turtle enemy. They are pretty much the same thing. Water-based. The only difference is they use Ice Wall and, well, basically same strategy. Use fire spells. At this point, it's still going to take me 2 spells regardless. Anyways, back to digressing on... What was I talking about? Quest 64, how it was one of my first RPGs, why I hate Blue Cave. Okay. So, yeah, being that it was one of my first RPGs, you know, and I had a lot of fun playing it, I won't lie. It was... The only problem with it is, I got to Blue Cave. Now, as you probably saw in Quest 64, and if you haven't, well, trust me, Blue Cave, unlike the one in here, its pathways are very narrow, and the camera angles are pretty bad. I mean, I didn't really have any way to tell which way I was going, if it was right or wrong, because if you go one way and you look the other way and you start traveling that way, you can't really tell if you're going forward or backwards. And it was because of that, being that I was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, it was because of that I ended up going through the same hallway, like, over, like, I don't know, I was traveling back and forth for at least, like, I don't know, several hours. I think I wasted my whole weekend just trying to get through Blue Cave, and it was pissing me off, because there was nothing I could do. I was constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, it's things like that that make a person just a little bit crazy. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. And, yeah. And that's why I hate Blue Cave so much. Because of the damn narrow corridors and terrible camera angles and not being able to figure out if you're going forward or backwards. Ugh, it made me a little crazy, even to today. Oh, sure, I know what you're saying. You're like, but this Blue Cave was not the Blue Cave from Quest 64, and you're right, it's not. But there is one thing that Blue Cave and Blue Cave and Quest 64 have in common. Well, actually 2. One being the name, the other being that they have similar music. And by that I mean this game actually imitated the Blue Cave theme in Quest 64. The only difference was it was more of an 8-bit MIDI of it. And you know what? It sounded like it looked like it, therefore it was close enough to it. So I hate it. And you know, I might be under the rule of judging a book by its cover, but you know what? I'm okay with it in this instance. Just saying, I did not like it. Okay, anyways. Should probably talk about something else because we're in Limelin, and we got something that I was going to talk about, namely the spirit gemstones and what they're used for. Also, Shannon, damn you, how did you make it before us here? You're always one step ahead of us, even though we're leaving you behind in the previous town. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So yes, the spirit gemstones. There is a lottery that you can enter here in Limelin. Basically, in order to enter the lottery, you have to use your spirit gemstones. Now, there are 10 prizes you can win in the lottery, and for each prize, you have to use a certain number of gemstones. The beginning prize costs 1 spirit gemstone, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best prize, but the bottom prize at the very bottom of the list costs 10 spirit gemstones, so yeah. Also, we can get some wings here. We can get some red wings. Ho-ho! Better watch out, Mysidia. I'm coming for you next. We're gonna fry the hell out of you. Oh man, I was thinking about that reference all day. I hope you appreciate it. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at making references to other things. And it's not like I don't want to, it's that I can't think off the top of my head. Like, I can't think on the spot. It'll come to me like 30 minutes later, and by then, it's already too late to already do the commentary for the part. Sorry. My problem's not yours. Anyways, I kinda got distracted about talking about the Limelin lottery. So yes, each prize costs different spirit gemstones. Now, you might think that's great and all, but what is the whole point in actually entering the lottery? Well, you see, 5 of those prizes that you can win are actually different items that you can't get anywhere else. They're special. In other words, you actually can only get them if you win the lottery. Now, trust me when I say this, winning the lottery and getting that item is actually kind of a difficult process, because you see, you have to enter in the lottery, and because it is a lottery, you have a chance at losing, so you might want to save before you actually spend your spirit gemstones. Sorry. Yes, save before you spend your spirit gemstones in the lottery, because you don't know if you're going to lose them or not, and if you lose them, well, you're going to be crying because you just wasted some time trying to get it. Also, this is the lottery house. Might as well talk about the prizes before I get into more of talking about the lottery. Yeah. Oh, well, sweet, we got an explanation. So yes, spirit gemstones. Alright. Oh, well, here's the prizes. Mint Leaf, Healing Potion, Hero's Drink, Spirit Light, Dragon's Potion, Secret Potion, Warrior's Cape, Warrior's Staff, Warrior's Badge, and Orchestra. I don't know what the Secret Potion to the Orchestra are, okay, honest to God. If you viewers know what these items do, okay, I can only assume they help Brian in some way. Honest to God, if you know what they do, please let me know, okay? I would be glad to share that with everyone watching. In fact, I will give you credit, okay? Especially you, Hydronics. You seem to know a lot about this game, or you seem to know a lot about Quest 64, but I think you know a lot about this game too, so if you know what any of these items do, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it, but if you don't, I'm not gonna blame you. Some of you are probably wondering, why can't I look this up online? Well, the reason for that is I actually tried, and there is no information pertaining to what those items do. That's why it's so difficult for me to actually try to explain this, because I don't know. Honest to God, it's new for me, as it is new for you. Now, continuing on with talking about the lottery, basically, a dove comes, tells you if you won or if you lost, and if you won, basically you have to wait an additional amount of time. See, I think I read something about it takes about 5 minutes for the dove to come to you when you're kind of exploring on the overworld, and then after that, basically you have to wait an additional amount of time before the item gets to you. But we'll talk about that in the next parts. Until then, later.